And we're back. Alrighty then. Now we're going to be dealing with the stuff that basically all takes place outside of Blender, GIMP, and indeed Trackmania 2. This is all stuff that, by and large, you do with Windows Explorer or the command prompt. So a familiarity with the command prompt is key to this process. So what I'm first going to do is, I said previously about the icon not having to be the car you're working on. Here's a classic case in point. And I'm just going to save this as icon in my new DDS as a DXT5. No bitmaps. Save. Yes, please. So, there are my images now. I've got my icon, my fake shad, my illuminations, my details diffuse map, and my skin diffuse map. Technically, you could argue the diffuse map isn't strictly correct because it holds both the diffuse and the glossy, but hey. Right, if you haven't already, I would recommend at this point getting my Blender to Trackmania PDF, simply because this section you have to have certain subdirectories set up, and your mileage may vary based on where and how you installed Trackmation. Mine, for example, my Mania Planet directory is off my Trackmations Forever directory, and instead of my personal data going into the typical Windows users folder, I chose it to come in a personal data folder directly off my Mania Planet folder. So, that said, wherever your personal data is, be it in your users folder, thus, or be it in one that you custom set up when you installed Mania Planet, this is where we need to be dealing with. From this directory, you need to make sure this directory exists. Now, you also need to make sure that directory exists. If you're currently using any other third-party cars, the chances are this particular one does exist. This is needed though, because this is where the NadeoImporter looks to in order to build the data. It cannot be anything else. I thought I was being clever by giving it a custom directory. No, it wants that directory. As you can see here, if it isn't so named, it simply doesn't work. And it doesn't give you any helpful messages. It just says it failed to create. Really useful. Right, okay, that said, we go to the folder where you've created all your DDSs. Now, if these are in a folder with everything else, I would then separate them, put them in their own folder, and give it a name. I shall call this Proby. Oh, I can't do that because I'm actually looking at them in here. Let me just close these two off. Now let's call it Proby. There we go. Right, now this directory with those images in, you need to copy into your work, skins, vehicles, CarCommon subdirectory. As you can see, these are all the tests and that I've done over the process of learning this. So here's my Proby. Right, what you then do, go to wherever you exported your DAE file, copy it, go into that directory, paste it into there. Name this main body. Now I'm assuming you're working with my vehicle here. If not, these names then have to be named based on the amount of vertices in them. This one is your low poly one, so I will copy that, I will paste it, and I will name that main body high. That's your mid detail one, which is up to 20,000 vertices. Paste again, name it main body very high. and that is your high detail, your 60,000 vertices. Right, that's it. Basically that's your model pack ready to go. As I said, the only thing I do is if I go over to, let's just add a new tab, and I go over to Common Brain Work, Blender Resources, TrackMania, Helpers, and I've got here a 128 by 128 PNG file with the alpha channel set to all black, so basically it's a completely transparent file. I've created it, called it skin damage, skin dirty, details damage, details dirty. I shall copy them and I shall drop them into there in order to prevent TrackMania to using the canyon maps of those when it gets dirty or when it gets damaged. If I was to delete the skin dirty and details dirty and I started racing, then it would immediately try to apply the dirt map for the canyon car onto my car, which obviously wouldn't fit because the UV map's all over the show. So there you go. That's basically your model pack ready to be packed. Now what you need to do then is go to your TrackMania folder. So as I say, mine is set in Mania Planet. You need to make sure that your NadeoImporter is installed here. The exe file must be in this directory, otherwise again it doesn't work. Now I have a small batch file here which says NadeoImporter, so it calls the importer. First argument is CarSkin, that's needed in order to generate it. Then the directory where my Proby file is, my Proby subdirectory, I should specify it. It looks for the subdirectory, so that subdirectory will become your model pack name. As you can see from here, I've basically each one of those, because of course all the model packs themselves all called main body, so it takes the name off the subdirectory. So I do that. Then I've got a %1 in my batch file which basically says use the first argument. That's specifying the max size of the texture. These are just two additional things which when I was reading up on it people used a lot of, so I've just included them in the batch file. Whether they're critical or not I can't say, but I use them. And the batch file is simply there to avoid me having to type all of that in every time I want to convert a car. I can just go to the command prompt in my Mania Planet, and as you can see I've got my NadeImport bat there, and I run it from there. Now if you're running Windows 8 or above, I don't know if this works for Windows 7, if you do Control Shift right arrow here, or away from the file, Control Shift right arrow, you can choose Open Command Window here from the Explorer, which is very useful. So I can do dir start bat. So there's my NadeImport.bat. So I just go NadeImport space Proby and hit return. And it tells me that my user being my user, not the Windows user, so in my case Trackmations Forever, Mania Planet, Skins, Vehicles, CarCommon, Proby.zip has been created. So okay, that's fine. I've just put a pause in so I can make sure it's done, otherwise that would have disappeared with no indication of whether it worked or not. So now I go over to my CarCommon, I go to Skins, Vehicles, CarCommon, and there's my Proby. Now this has to be moved into your models directory for this to work. So I cut it from there, go back to Skins, models, CarCommon, and as you can see these are all my test runs, and plus 3D vehicles that I've got off the Mania Park forum, not forum, sorry, site, paste. So there's my Proby. And if I open that up, you can see basically what it's done is it's taken my DDS files and it's created GBX versions of my DAE files. That essentially is that for this. If that is generated correctly and it looks like this, the next step is to go into Trackmania itself. So I'll close that, I fire off Trackmania. Now the first thing I do when I go into Trackmania is I actually go into Paint a Car. Way. So I go play. Oh, that's Russian. Oh, of course I don't normally have the volume on. Settings. Music. Oh, the music should be off. Oh, Russian. Anyway, go into the game. I then go into Editors, Paint a Car. And then I go look see for my car. Oh, you see that's a perfect example of showing you how your icon doesn't have to be the car. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. Proby. Here we go. Oh, I didn't delete the light planes. So that immediately tells me that I've got that foobarred. And because I've got it foobarred, you can see that it's actually put the Canyon car in instead of my car, and so the maps are all over the place. Okay, I can deal with that. Let's go into Blender. Let's pull up that, because that's what I started with. Shift F11, open, delete materials. And you know what? I'm going to actually just boom, and just run through this very quickly. There we go. Okay. I deleted that thing and I forgot to delete those. I was being too smart. I'd actually hidden them so it hadn't shown up. So I can delete them. Delete that. There's a collision. Delete that. So I'm basically running through the whole process again. So I mean, this is good because it does show you how the process simply won't work if you get it wrong. So I'll just create new dbody. Oh, dbody. Not that it really matters. I'm just going to go that. S-body. Hide that. So select wheels. No, didn't want to do that. Control L. Material data. Just make sure everything's got dbody now. Didn't. Here we go. That's everything. Dump. Let's just position these. Sorry I've gone quiet. Just focusing for a second. There we go. Okay, just make sure off. Yeah, they're all right. Right. So, everything. Move that to 2. Change that to pivot point. RX minus 90. Control A. Rotation and scale. Did I click that correctly? Just make sure. Right. Export collider. Pro B. Export. Okay. Collider exports. Copy. CarCommon. Pro B. Paste. Same process again. Get rid of the old ones. Rename that main body. Control C. Control V. To main body high. Control V. To main body very high. Switch back to my. Run that again. Done that. Go back to vehicles, CarCommon. Cut that. Models, CarCommon. Paste that. Overwrite it. Yes, please. Let's try again, shall we? Let's see what happens. That was a perfect example of what can go wrong when you're doing exports. Obviously, if there's anything that Trackmania doesn't recognise in that DAE model, it throws a sulk, as you just clearly saw. So editors, paint a car. Let's have a look. Did I just go Proby? There we go. Now, as you can see, my current icons are rubbish. So I can go into Paint. Just hit the Save icon. Come back out. And now you can see my icon is right. Now this is where we can test our car. You can do a Control A to stop it spinning. Right mouse button, click and drag to move it around. H will show you these keys. They're the help. So Control L for the lights. Turn it around, make sure the backlights are working. Control B for the brake. Yep, that's good. Just make sure nothing else is being illuminated on the Control B. No. Control T, check the wheels turn. Now if you've got your pivot points wrong, at this point the wheels will be going mental. So, yep, they're good. So, I'm happy with that. I declare that fine. And as you can see, the shadow's looking nice. So, I'll call that done. Go back, back, back. Go to options. God, that's noisy. Let me just turn that down, shall I? Go to edit packs. That's a bit better, isn't it? Create new. Go to contents. Go to add. Right. Skins. Models. And this is why it has to be in skins models, not skins vehicles. CarCommon. Proby. Open. Create. I'm allowed to perform it. I should hope so. Please do. I can't select the skin for the profile now, so I just say no to that. Back out. Go back into play. Editors. Paint a car. This is the bit that threw me. Now, you do not select that. Keep going. Normally at the end for that, you see it's got a star, that indicates it's a skin pack that's just been created. Click on that. That's what we want to do. We want to paint that. Yeah, I know, don't panic. I tell you, the first time I did this, I come straight back out, think I'd gotten it wrong. You actually need this. But what you do, go down here and save as. Click in here. And what I would do that, I would just call it Proby Skin. Say OK. Come out the game. Now in your skins, models, CarCommon directory, you have these three. This is the trick. These two you no longer really need. Don't delete them, move them. So I will just cut them from there. Go into here, I'll put them somewhere safe. Open up my original Proby directory with my 3 vehicles in. Go to my new model pack, which now only has model.pack.gbx in and not the 3. That's how you can tell it's worked. You see that as opposed to that, it's worked. Now the temptation is to pull all those back into there. Doesn't work. That threw me, that just stopped it working. You literally just pull your skin diffuse back in. Say OK, and then that's it. So now that contains your original skin diffuse, because the one it had there was basically the blank. Now we go back in the game. Now the reason I come out the game is simple, that it sort of remembers what you'd done previously, so if you move stuff, it gets a bit confusing, so I prefer to just come straight out and then go back in. So if I go back into play now, play, Canyon, just go into the paint a car, Proby skin, paint it, save it, back out. That means that you're basically replacing the icon. I should have copied across the icon.dds from the other one as well, but I do it here because it also makes sure that it's working. Come out of there, come out of there, go into profile, models, and all things being equal, there we go. There's our new car. So I can then go back and I can go into the game. And I suck at this, by the way. I love playing it, but I'm atrocious at it. And here we are. Told you I sucked at it. And basically there you are, you're in the game. And that's it. That is the whole thing done. You can go through the whole process as many times as you like with all sorts of varying things. Then you can get into adding dirt maps, adding damage models, and that I've not done a damage model yet myself, so I can't advise on that. It's something I intend to give a go next. I hope this has been of use. If there's any questions, please leave them in the comments. And that's it, folks. Guess what? I'm going for a coffee.